Hello YouTube, this is the Super Dave here to talk to you tonight in my first ever YouTube video about my first ever Toys Era 1/6 scale action figure, in this case the Prescience, also known as Psylocke, as portrayed by the lovely and talented Olivia Munn in the X-Men Apocalypse movie. We're going to get right to it. I pre-ordered this thing from KG Hobby back in June. I got my shipping notification on December 21st, and it was in my hands January 7th, and I could not wait to get into it. So we're not doing any kind of unboxing or anything like that today. I'm just going to offer you some of my thoughts. Really don't see anything out there on the internet about her, which kind of surprises me. This is a great figure. Like I said, I'm surprised I'm not seeing more about her. So to get started, she does come in the usual brown shipper box from Toys Era TE022. It's just a regular old shipper box. Does look like it got dropped or smushed or something to that effect. Oh well, not a big deal. It's kind of, that's part parcel for the hobby. It's gonna happen, guys. I don't get too bent out of shape about it. Here's the figures packaging. It's a really pretty box. I don't really get too excited about the packaging, but this one does strike me as being fairly memorable. I do like this. I like that butterfly. If we know Psylocke from the comic books, we know that the butterfly is part of her character, part of her overall motif, and nice little nod to the history there, including that on the packaging. As you can see, it says the Prescience there. Pretty standard box, nice little X logo on the back containing all the normal warnings. Just a slip case over a window style box, another X, continuing on with that theme. Nice little silhouette there on her side blade. And something else I noticed, got some color photographs on the instruction sheet, and we'll talk about what the instruction sheet is for here in just a minute, but kind of a nice little addition. Nice quality paper, color photos on the instruction sheet. Not what I'm used to, you know, certainly not anything like I've received from anyone else. So that's that. Let's get to the figure. And here she is, Psylocke, otherwise known as the Prescience. Likeness, I think, is really good. I have seen a couple of people out there saying they didn't feel like it represented Olivia Munn. I gotta disagree. You know, it's not a perfect head sculpt. So many of them. It's hard to get a true likeness on a 1/6 scale head sculpt. I do feel like, though, when you look at this, you know you're looking at Olivia Munn, and it's not bad. I don't think we could ask for much better, in all honesty. Some folks are just hard to capture likeness in 1/6 scale. Look at all the attempts to do a Viggo Mortensen from Lord of the Rings, and how some of those results have come out. I think she looks great. The paint apps on the face, the eyes, eyebrows, lips, a little blush on the cheeks. Man, they really did a great job with the likeness. Let's talk about her accessories real quick. She does come with an array of hands. She's a little, I guess you could say, a little bit light on the accessories. I don't know what you expect. The character herself really doesn't use much. You know, she's a mutant with psionic powers. And going back in the comic books, this is where my history with Psylocke lies. The early 90s, when Jim Lee was drawing Uncanny X-Men and then moved to X-Men. She was always my favorite X-Man, X-Woman, X-Girl, X-Person, what have you. So I was thrilled when Toys Era announced that they were going to do a Psylocke figure. I was really surprised. I don't know why. I guess they were doing, you know, the Speed and the Magneto and Quicksilver from those X-Men movies, the McAvoy movies. I don't know. I just felt like, especially in that movie, she wasn't really one of the main characters, and not much more than a supporting role for Apocalypse. So that they decided to do a figure of her, I was really surprised. And her being, like I said, one of my favorite X-Men characters, certainly my favorite X-Woman, going back all the way to the '90s in the comics books. I was thrilled when they announced it, and it was a no-brainer for me. Instant pre-order, and like I said, here she is. So real quick, she comes with 4 pairs of hands. For starters, 2 relaxed palms, and you can see one of them's got the wrist peg in it still. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, why the wrist peg is still in there. 2 fists, of course, left and right. Again, just a standard fist like you see with any other figure. 2 gripping hands. Just a gripping hand, no trigger finger, no anything special. Just a hand with which to grip, and you'll see the other one is obviously on the figure, gripping that katana. And last but not least, the final pair of hands is the psionic katanas, Psyblades, the psychic knives, whatever they're being called here. So as you can see, it's a fist. It comes in left and right iterations. And what I didn't realize, because I paid 0 attention to the promo material, is that this is a light-up LED thing. I didn't realize till that I opened up and saw what was going on here. So again, you get left and right sonic katanas, sonic knives, sonic swords, psi swords. And how those work is there are 2 little batteries included, as you can see right here. And I don't know what kind of batteries these are. If you do, send me a message, shoot me a PM, leave a comment, send a smoke signal, whatever you can. I have a feeling I can't just go down to Walmart and get a couple of these. So if you know what they are, I'm sure I could do a little bit of internet research. I just haven't done that yet. But there you have it. There are the batteries, and I'll show you how that works here in just a minute. As you can see, my my other sonic blade is on the figure, which is how I like to keep her posed, with that on there. And I'll show you how I do that right now. And we'll also demonstrate the LED. So how this works is the battery plugs down into the socket of the arm, and then you slide the hand just right over on top of it. And to do this just in a pose without the LED illuminated, I'm just not connecting it all the way. You can kind of see that from this angle, and it's a little bit further off than I normally keep it. But to activate the LED, all you got to do is slide down just a little bit, and there it is. It lights up. Let's kill one of these lights and see if we can get a better idea of how bright that can be. So you can tell it's got some good brightness, good luminosity to it. Looks cool, and I'm not generally an LED or gimmicky type of guy. To me, it's one more thing you got to worry about: your battery bursting or leaking or ruining your figure somehow. But I'm glad I got it this way. You know, I probably wouldn't have if there had been an option, but since there's no option, here it is, and I'm glad I got it. It's a cool feature, and I got a feeling I might run these batteries down. Just, I like looking at that, man. It looks cool. And it displays really well, too. So to turn that off and just pose her with the blade on, doesn't take a whole lot. You just got to pull up on the hand ever so slightly, just enough to disconnect that connection. See, it doesn't take much at all, and you can leave that there. And it is a tight enough fit that it'll stay on there without falling off. And you can rotate that around and do whatever else you want with it. And then to turn it back on, you just slide it all the way down to make that connection. So we're going to take it off, and I'll show you. You can see that battery just slides right down into the socket, just like a wrist peg would. And it is the same size, obviously, as the wrist peg. They're interchangeable if I wanted to put the hands on. and that's why the wrist peg is stuck in the relaxed palm, is so that I can just pop that back in there if I wanted to or not. But I do like displaying her with the psionic blade. I think it looks really cool, and it's obviously an important part of the character. And the final accessory I want to talk about is probably my favorite. LED is a really cool feature. Light up thing, looks awesome. And again, the promo pictures had her with a sword katana. And, I think, whatever, if I even paid attention to it, it was in the back of my mind. Okay, she comes with the sword. Silver blade, brown handle, whatever the case is, like any other generic sword. But that is not the case here with Psylocke. And I'm going to show you this up close. Really cool little thing here. Let me adjust the light so we can see. Check out the detailing on the blade. This is a metal sword. It's a black blade, black hilt, black handle. Look at that. I really dig this pattern that they've printed on the side of the blade. And it's just a great color contrast. This, dark purple on this black blade. Looks fantastic. It really gives not only the accessory, but it adds a lot of character, to the figure. So again, black hilt, black handle. We've also got this dark metallic, what do you call that? The wrapping of the handle, the weaving of the cordage, whatever. I don't know what the term is for that on the handle. But it looks great, and overall just an awesome accessory. Obviously, any ninja is going to have some kind of weapon, physical weapon. And I'm glad they decided to include such a unique piece. I really dig this sword, and it's going to look great on the shelves with her display. As you can see, that's how I do like to have her displayed with her katana in hand. So let's move on to the figure. Speaking once again of the prototype, I'm sure if you're not familiar, it's easy to Google. They prototyped her with a fairly large bust, and which did not look good in any way, shape, or form. The fans cried out. Toys R Us said, "Okay, we'll take another look at that and retool it." And they came back and offered us this, which I think it looks really good. I think it's a good size, not too big, not too small. It looks appropriate. It looks proportional, more importantly, on the figure, and I think it fits not only with the essence of Psylocke from the comic books, but also the representation of Olivia Munn as she portrayed this character in the movie. Like I said, it looks good in hand. It looks like it should look. It doesn't look like it's been, it doesn't look fake or altered or anything grotesque. It doesn't look, your eyes are not drawn to it, which if you look at some of those promo shots that everybody had an issue with, including myself, you're not. I don't see that at all, and that was going to be a deal breaker for me if they hadn't worked that out. But there you have it. Looks good. Like I said, proportional, fits the character. Not too much, not too little. Little wiring inside here. Great little detail there. Can make some really cool dynamic poses. The rest of the suit is kind of I'm not sure what it is. I'm not good with identifying materials. It's got a plasticky, stretchy feel to it. Maybe nylon, something like that. Or I don't know. It does look really good on her. It fits really well. It's a perfect color of purple, I think. Does have a zip in the back. It is glued or sewn at the very top, and then the zip will obviously zip all the way down. There was some complaints about the, well, what was said was it looks like she's wearing a dirty diaper, things to that effect, droopy pants, etc. And that is the case. There is a little bit more material there than there may need to be. There's a little bit more junk in the trunk, so to speak, because of this rubber piece that is any of the flesh tones that you see on the upper torso. So from the neck, this piece of her chest, and these hips, it's all one solid piece that covers the entire torso. And these straps right here, they are glued on to the rubber, and that helps hide the seam from the rubber to the plastic of the leg, as well as that's screen accurate. You know, that was in the movie costume. So part of the problem is this strap is, it's basically one piece. If you can see in the light, this is where it connects. It looks like there's a seam right there on the strap, and then it'd be one piece going all the way around. And that's why you get this this effect in the back, is because this piece is one piece that goes underneath the outer layer of the uniform. And so it can look a little bit peculiar, has some odd contours, odd shapes, if you don't do anything. I, just in messing with it to take a bunch of photos after I got it out, I tucked the seam in just a little bit. I mean, not even 1/8 of an inch probably. And that helped smooth out these lines really well and virtually eliminated what it was looking like back here. So if you want to futz with it just a little bit, you can alleviate that. Otherwise, I think there is a collector out there, Yongbum, who has done a Fison body swap, and that is not something I am averse to. I do like Fison body swaps. I'm a fan of the Fison bodies, and I think I have 5 of my figures that I've done swapped onto a Fison body, and I really, really like that. I don't think I'll be doing that with this Psylocke though. She, my big thing is articulation, and she has a lot of articulation. Double jointed elbows, which is my big thing. If there's one thing I really like to have, it's double jointed elbows. And you can see we can get some nice tight angles on the arms, which makes for some nice dynamic poses, depending on what you want to do with her katana or just in general. Standard torso articulation, twist, a little bit of bending. That rubber suit on there does prohibit too much bending at the midsection and a whole lot of twisting. She'll twist, but she wants to go right back. So you kind of got to take her a little bit far to accommodate how much she's going to want to come back, but it still works. If you work with it just a little bit, you can achieve the desired pose. Moving down, again, because you've got this rubber piece, it can make for some peculiar folding and contouring as you move the legs about at the waist, at the hip. Other than that, it looks good. It matches well. Double jointed knees, which again is fantastic. I love double jointed knees. I love double joints anywhere. There is no thigh rotation like we do see on some figures. Here we just have the ball socket here and that range of movement, which it's enough. I really don't see why you wouldn't necessarily need to rotate her thighs. It does offer a little bit more articulation, but there's a lot of ways you can get around that. I mean, if you'd asked me whether or not I prefer it, yeah, I would prefer it, of course. Can't have enough articulation, I think, but I don't really notice not having it. So there you have it. It's a great figure. Ankles. I have seen some pushback on the ankles. I don't know why. It's a peg. So you got the end of the leg here, an ankle peg, and then the foot, which it's an integrated foot into the boot. So basically what you have is what I would say is a double ball joint, right? Ball joint at the end of the leg, ball joint at the top of the foot. So you get a lot of range out of these ankles. It's pretty amazing. And they're tight joints. On my figure, every one of these joints is tight. She holds her own poses, obviously within reason. Can't go doing anything extreme to her like standing on one foot and expect her to stay up. But she will pretty much stand up any way I've posed her, with just a little attention to the ankles. The ankles are the mitigating factor, I guess, if you will. If you can get those ankles in just the right position, she'll stay up on her own really, really well. Again, knees, hips are tight, arms, elbows, they stay where you put them. I love this figure, guys. I'm really excited about it, and like I said, I'm surprised I haven't seen more about it. I have seen, like I said, a little bit of negativity, but I am writing that off as just your typical, I'm on the internet and this is where we bitch about anything. For the amount of money you're going to pay for this figure versus what you get, I don't think you can beat the value. I really don't. Go out and get her, like tonight. Order her tomorrow. Whatever you got to do. She's great. She looks good. And there you have it.